Today I'm going to show you an easy way to add texture to your stamping. Hi there, welcome back. It's Therese from Lostinpaper, and I've got this beautiful Floral Thanks stamp and coordinating die set. And this is quite a unique stamp set in the fact that it's not layering. You actually piece these images together to create a floral bouquet with the negative word thanks in the center of it. I found it really easy to line up, but these flowers and leaves are quite a solid stamp, so I thought it'd be fun to add a bit of texture. And this is really simple to do. All you need to do is grab a couple of inks of each color that you want to use, one lighter and one slightly darker. So I'm starting here with the mixed media or the pigment inks, and what I've done is stamp the first portion of the image in the Misty, and the Misty is quite a key here because it means you can restamp over again on the same image. But what I did this time was use the darker ink, but only placed it sort of on the edge of the stamp, like where the center of the flowers would be, just to add a bit of texture, make it look like a bit of dimension, and just change up the stamp a little bit to give you more options and make it look a little bit different. The thing with the pigment inks that I did find is that they are slower drying, and I did kind of make a little smudge, which is easy fixed. I did come in sort of with an eraser and wipe that away a little bit. It wasn't very successful, but this stamp set has a coordinating word thanks and die, so we're going to fix that by covering it up, which is really easy to do. So the trick with that is, and I should have known this, was to heat set it with my heat tool on low. Just a little bit. It didn't take long to dry. So even with that darker blue stamping that I did, I came in with the Persian blue and then added a darker one exactly the same way with the sapphire, and that just added a little bit of texture to the image as I stamped it. Next I came in with the coral berry, and then I did the same again, this time with the ruby red. And this is a little bit harder to do on that center flower there because the large ink pad did make it harder to get the angle on such a small flower, but it didn't matter. This isn't going to look perfect, and the inks will blend maybe just a little bit once as they dry, but it doesn't matter. I'm going for that look of imperfection here. And I love the way that this stamps out so easily, and you get that negative space word thanks. Now for the final leaf layer here, I did stamp the frayed leaf and the forest glades. And the same thing again, just came in with the darker ink, tapped it on the center portions of the leaves as best I could, and then just stamp it out. And I did set that aside to dry, and I thought, let's give it a go with the dye inks. I did exactly the same technique here. Used the same colors too, because I thought it would be fun to see how they would compare. And I did sort of find that these didn't blend with themselves quite as easily. So what I did here was come in with a little bit of paper towel, but you could use a foam sponge just to get rid of a few of those harsher edges. But it depends what look you're going for. If you want that sort of textured, stripy, streaky look from the ink pads, go for it. It's fun, and it just, for the two cards using the same colors, they look very similar, but I found that the dye ink one was probably just that little bit brighter. So to cover up that little bit of a smudge that I had with the pigment ink on my first card, I stamped out the word thanks in the Arctic shade, and then I did exactly the same thing here. I'm just adding a little bit of the darker color just to the base of the word, and then I just restamped over top of that. And let that dry and die cut it out with the coordinating die. I did actually cut a template out of another piece of cardstock, just a scrap piece of cardstock, so that I could line my words up perfectly and then place my die within the die cut to make sure it's going to cut perfectly for me. I love that this set has so many coordinating sentiments as well. They really make a great thank you set, and it has sentiments that can be used independently as well, which I really like. So I've attached that to an A2 card, and I thought it'd be fun to pop up my sentiment here, and I did come in and add a few of the satin white sequins to both of my designs. I think this would make a really good note set, like a gift. If I gave away, make say sort of 6 versions of this and wrap them up, put them with some nice envelopes. I think that'd be a nice gift. So this is the die set. I did cut the die. Sorry, the die set. I did cut the die version out with, and then I thought it'd be fun to add a second layer of leaves. And I did that exactly the same. I'm just lining that up over top of where I'm going to sit my die cut thanks. And I did the 2 layers of stamping here too, with the forest glades over top of the frayed leaf. And I could have die cut this one out as well, but I actually stamped this directly onto the card front. There's so many different things that you could do with this. Such a pretty little set. And looks good in so many different color combinations as well. I kind of stuck to these colors because these were the colors I had in the pigment inks, and I thought it'd be good just to compare how the pigment ink looked versus the dye ink. I did pop this over top, and I have more pictures of these cards at my blog. I've also got links to all the products below and at my blog, so don't forget to head over there and see those, as well as another card that I've made for this release. So thanks so much for joining me. If you did like today's video, please click on the thumbs up button to let me know that you did. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you back here real soon. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.